Good afternoon and welcome to the September 13th meeting of the Rotary Club of North Raleigh. Dee Dee Hurd, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ed Cody, would you please read the invocation today?
In remembrance of September the 11th, 2001. Lord, we turn to you in times of tragedy, disappointment, and heartache. We ask you to heal our wounds and restore us to your care. We confess that we cannot always understand tragedy, but we do look forward to for you to walk with us through this period of clarity in our lives. May we comfort others with the comfort which you give us. And bless us, O Lord, in these your gifts which we are about to receive from your bounty through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Thank you, Ed. Frank, do we have a song today?
Yes, indeed.
Is anybody here from Cleveland? So, in honor of that, we're going to sing number 34. Number 34. Second verse.
Introduction of guests. How he felt at the bragging moment.
For our visitor, every meeting we have an opportunity to raise some money for the DC and Bill Parker Fund through what we call bragging moments. Opportunities to pay money to donate to the cause and share some great things that happened in the past few since we've seen you last. Greg, I think the mic is all yours.
Sir, I don't understand the groans when Dr. Edelman introduced his guest because I think he's a great guy. Right. Anyway, in 3 hours I am heading to Paris, then Prague, then Warsaw, then Riga, Latvia. And I'll be doing interviews in Latvia and the former Soviet Union on the Baltic Sea across from Scandinavia. I'll be there this weekend, and I'll be interviewing potential candidates for our Fresh Start program. And our Fresh Start program is the program where we take basically orphans that have aged out of the orphanage system, who many of them are homeless, and we interview them. If they're serious about continuing their education, we'll put them in our transition apartments. We'll give them food. We'll give them just the ability to be able to continue their schooling. And I'm very, very thankful to Rotary, because this club and with the matching gift has been very, very instrumental in helping us continue that program both in Latvia and the Crimea. So we're gonna launch a new year this month, and I'm heading out in about 3 hours. So I will see you back here next Wednesday, though. So, but thank you, all of you. Thank you very, very much for your help in making a life and death difference in the lives of these orphans.
Thanks, Frank. Very well done. Here you go, Frank.
Greg, do you want to explain why I'm standing up today? Thank you. I stayed away so you could explain that. So this time I want to say, those people out in Columbia, Missouri, that's how it's said, Missouri out there. This week we're going to Kentucky, and we're going to show again that the Gamecocks are for real. Be sure and watch.
Thanks, Frank. Dee Dee? Mike's all yours.
We had a couple live around the corner from us in Alaska for over 20 years. They now live in Savannah, and whenever a storm comes that way, they come up to share love with us. They went back home yesterday, and everything was fine at their house.
Greg. Okay, Dr. Middleman.
Matt Kane was nice enough to lend me this book, which is a great book, The History of 100 Years of Rotary here. And I got to tell you my favorite part here. In 1922, the district meeting was in Los Angeles. So what they did was they hired a train with Pullman cars. It started in, let's see where it started. Started in Norfolk, went to Raleigh, then it went to Richmond. They went to Richmond and Raleigh, Greensboro, Asheville, Chattanooga, everything else. And to and from, they stopped at these places. They'd stay overnight at these places, stay with Rotarians in each place, went to Los Angeles, went back to Los Angeles with the meals, which they say were adequate meals. With the meals, the whole trip was $50.
Eric, is that $1 for a brag?
Couple bucks here, Howie. First brag is my mother, DL, turned 85 on September 4th, Labor Day, and we were all up in Ohio and had a great time for her party. And then she had to ride with me and listen to me tell stories all the way back from Ohio to Raleigh on Monday. But we had a good time. The second $1 is for our older #1 daughter, Katie. She is now working for the San Francisco Symphony, doing the same thing she did for the Kennedy Center, raising funds for the arts so we can listen to music and keep them in the black. And she's living in a beautiful apartment with her boyfriend Ryan, and they have a beautiful view of the bay and Coit Tower if you've been out in Russian Hill. So I'm just a lucky guy to have a daughter doing something she's having fun with. Thanks.
Rich, the mic's all yours.
Yeah, I just wanted to say how appreciative I am for the fact that yesterday I talked with my son. They got their power back on and they survived Orlando in the storm, so Irma didn't get them, and I'm happy about that.
I've got my own $3 to brag about. Greg, yeah, the first team to clinch in baseball, Washington Nationals. How about those Nats? My Maryland Terrapins are 2-0, and I also want to recognize Dr. Edelman. In his healthcare talk, he mentioned melatonin. I've taken it and had many less headaches than I used to. Thank you, Dr. Edelman.
That's it, quick brag. Quick brag.
Oh, one more quick brag.
Sorry, just one more quick brag. I wanted to mention the leadership at District 7710 and brag about the job that they did at the Rotary Foundation assembly that we had over the weekend. A lot of assemblies are spent talking about what we do, what the foundation does, but this was really a focus on why we do it, more from the heart, that we want people to have clean water, that we want people to be free of disease, and so it was a very wide-themed day, and it was pretty spectacular. I was glad I went. So anyway, that was my brag. And we're going to do a quick auction. Greg Brissett was kind enough to donate NC State tickets. They're playing Furman. This is for the 16th. There's 2 tickets and a parking pass. And
That's a South Carolina team that we can beat.
that's true.
All right, Frank.
And Howie, are you doing it? Or Eric is doing it?
Eric, go once, twice.
I have never been an auctioneer in my life. I have sold lots of things, though, in my life. That's very true. But I think this would be really cool to start this out at $60 for 2 tickets to the Furman NC State football game. Anybody want to open the bids? $60.
These are my tickets. I'm not opening the bid.
Pardon, go ahead.
I already paid for the tickets.
So we need to start it out higher,
There's a parking pass and it's very close to the stadium. It's a nice spot.
right?
The tickets are about the 35-yard line and they have seat backs. So it's a nice place to sit.
And they do say $35 face value on each one of these.
Yes.
I was just told to start the bidding.
And then there's the parking pass and seat backs.
So I think it's worth at least $100 minimum. It's the 16th? This Saturday. So, anybody want to open the bids at $100? 2 tickets. Great parking pass.
I'm not going to do it, but I know Frank would like to go, so please raise your hand.
Come on, Frank. I'll open the bidding at $100 right here. I'll open the bid at $100. Do I hear $120? $120. This goes to the T.C. Parker. Is it going to go to T.C. Parker? Bill Parker, okay. It's going to go to everything that we do in this club that qualifies for that fund. Jim Morgan, you interested? Okay. $120. Anybody, $120 for Greg Brissett's tickets. Going once, going twice, thrice. All right, sold to Eric Grunwald for $120.
Thank you, Eric. All right, with that, do we have any club announcements? Anything from the golf tournament team?
So we're 2.5 weeks away on the golf tournament. Participation and sign-ups has escalated over the last couple weeks. Still looking for a few prizes to donate for like closest to the pin and longest drive, things like that. So if you own your business or would like to donate or know someone that'd be willing, we could use those. We need someone to donate some bottled water and some cans of soda, maybe 60 bottles of water and 50 cans of soda or so. If someone will do that, if not, we have to buy it, it takes out of our profit. But our committee's going to
One other thing, we're probably going to be scheduling several of the cleanup projects coming up is somewhere in the October time frame, so keep your eyes open for emails on those dates. I think we'll have at least two, so one is a primary, the other is a backup, but we need to start working our hours off for the city. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Steve Ramirez, who will introduce our speaker today.
Good afternoon, North Raleigh Rotarians. How is everyone? Woo, good. It's with great pleasure that I'm introducing to you Mr. Jorge Archila, who is the Consul General of the Consulate of Guatemala. I don't know how many of you have seen in the local news, in the state news, that the Consulate of Guatemala chose Raleigh as a place to set up base to service Guatemalans from Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and basically this part of the Southeast. And when I reached out to them, they were really gracious. They said, absolutely, we'd love to meet the Rotarians of North Raleigh. They're also really close to here. And I told them about our program, the literacy program in Guatemala. So we had a lot of questions to him about what's the consulate doing in Raleigh, why do they choose us? Gave him a lot of different things. So he's got a bunch of information he wants to share with us about his mission and about what they're doing. Without further ado, Mr. Consul General Jorge Archila.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Steve, for the introduction and for your invitation here to address to you today. I apologize for we got called into a video conference very last minute, and I think Christina's still in it, so I apologize for being a little bit late, but I'll be happy to talk to you, tell you a little bit about myself, about the consulate, what we're doing here, and I can always answer questions at the end, so feel free to answer. As Steve said, my name is Jorge Archila. I'm the Consulate General of Guatemala here in Raleigh. I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself. I moved back to Raleigh with my wife and daughter in April, and we're glad to call Raleigh our home. I have been in the Guatemalan Foreign Service for over 13 years, serving in posts in the Guatemalan consulates in different cities. I've been in Chicago, Providence, Rhode Island. I opened the consulate in Del Rio, Texas, and I was charged with the responsibility of opening the Consulate General here in Raleigh as well. I say I moved back to Raleigh because I graduated from NC State in 2004 with a degree of business. And I have been in the United States for over 17 years, so almost half of my life I've been in the US. So I know what it is like to be a migrant and to move from place to place and the difficulties of having to adapt each time. We finally opened this Consulate General in June, and it's the 19th Consulate of Guatemala here in the US. The government of Guatemala recognizes the value and the importance that the Guatemalan community brings to our country, and is making every effort to serve over 3 million Guatemalans that we estimate are living here in the US. I'm going to talk a little bit about what we do. We issue Guatemalan passports, consular identification cards, as well as legalize any US document to be used in Guatemala. We issue visas and also register children born to Guatemalan parents as Guatemalans. I register marriages and deaths as well. We have a very large population here in North Carolina and in Raleigh. In our 3 months that we have been open, we have issued almost 2,000 passports and registered over 200 children as Guatemalans. We are covering North and South Carolina, and we estimate that there's over 135,000 Guatemalans in both Carolinas. Guatemalans here are a hardworking community who come to the United States in search for opportunity, understanding that in this country, if you work hard, you can succeed. Besides the documentation services that we do, we also have our protection department. We visit, interview, detain Guatemalans in order to verify their health, contact their family members, obtain birth certificates, and issue travel documents so that they can go back to Guatemala. We also have an emergency fund in order to cover the repatriation of any Guatemalan who passes away or is injured or is sick and wishes to go back to Guatemala and the family don't have the funds, we have a fund to cover those instances to return them back. We provide protection to human trafficking victims, temporary migrant workers, and we inform them of their rights and we serve as liaison and translator between the victims and the proper authorities. We also provide legal assistance and advice and refer people who want to appeal their cases or would like to request asylum to an organization who can represent them. We recently just hired an immigration attorney hired by the consulate to provide free legal service to all the Guatemalans who wish to have that service. They can come to our office and have a free advice and review of each of their cases. We recognize that the Carolinas are big states, and in order for us to be close to our nationals, we bring our services to different cities to reach the people who cannot travel to Raleigh here. We are doing mobile consulates during the weekends. We travel one weekend a month to different cities in both Carolinas. We do it during the weekends so people don't have to miss work to get their documents. It's important for us, for them to have all their documents, to have a valid identification for them to identify themselves. And also we want to travel to them so they don't have to risk driving to Raleigh for any circumstance. Sometimes they don't even have driver license, so we don't want them taking that risk of having to drive here. I'd like to share some facts about Guatemala as well. Guatemala has a population of over 16 million people, plus the 3 million that are in the U.S. Our official language is Spanish, but we also speak 21 Mayan languages, especially in the rural areas, as well as 2 non-Mayan languages, the Xinca and the Garifuna. Garifuna is a language spoken in the Caribbean. Guatemala is a rich cultural country with many social issues that we are working to solve. And even though we are the largest economy in Central America with a GDP of over $69 billion, we face many social problems, and we are one of the poorest countries in Latin America. But with all our complex socioeconomic situation, if you visit our country, you will fall in love with our people, our delicious food, our handcrafts, and our amazing volcanoes. Our architecture ranges from colonial cities like Antigua, Guatemala, to works of art like our National Theater in Guatemala City, to modern buildings and first world shopping areas. As many of you know, our main exports are coffee, plantains, and sugar, but we also specialize in exporting fruits, vegetables, flowers, handcrafts, textiles, and others. We are growing and exporting increasing amounts of raw materials for biofuel products, especially sugarcane and palm oil. As it was quoted in the 2015 Investment Climate Statement of the U.S. Bureau of Economic and Business Affairs, the United States is Guatemala's most important economic partner. The Guatemalan government continues to enhance competitiveness, promote investment opportunities, and work on legislative reform aimed at supporting economic growth. More than 200 U.S. and foreign firms have active investments in Guatemala, benefiting from the U.S. Central America Free Trade Agreement. We have many differences between our countries, but we share many main characteristics as well. We both have a multicultural country, we both have big challenges in our community, and both are countries full of extraordinary people and natural beauty. And all of these challenges more than ever have to be faced as a community in order for all of us to be successful. Our consulate hopes to be able to work together with other organizations such as the Rotarians and people here in North Carolina for the betterment of this community. We congratulate the North Raleigh Rotary Group for their efforts to help the people here and around the world, like my beloved Guatemala. Thank you very much. Sure.
How many languages do you speak?
Only 2. Spanish and English, yes.
So do you approach Raleigh businesses to see whether there might be opportunities for people from
Yes, we have a trade office, not here at the consulate, but one in our embassy in Washington, D.C. Actually, we have a lot of businesses that have approached us so we can direct them which would be the best place the embassy has the economic office that specializes to make the right connections and the right opportunities.
Make believe. I was born in Guatemala. I married a woman from Guatemala. I have 2 children, and I would like to become able to come to the United States to settle. What do I have to do?
You are in Guatemala? In Guatemala, you want to come to the U.S.?
I would like to immigrate to the United States with my wife and my 2 children. What do I do?
There's no simple answer for that. Unfortunately, it's not something that we can control or do. It don't have to be with U.S. immigration laws. We recommend them to, first of all, apply for a visa at the U.S. Embassy. It's at their discretion if they would grant the visa or not. And just get legal advice, I guess, if they have other family members here that can request them, or see what other very limited opportunities, options there is for a family to migrate legally to the U.S.
How could we get so many people from Guatemala viviendo en este país?
There was an exodus of people from Guatemala in the 80s due to our internal conflict that we had. Thankfully, we signed a peace treaty in the mid-90s. But most of the people that came during that time were able to obtain some legal status. Now, out of the 135,000 that we estimate are here, I would say maybe 60% have legal status. The rest don't. And they come because there's work here. There's agricultural work. If there will be a workers program that would allow agricultural workers to come here, I'm sure the Guatemalans would love to come work and go back to their family, to the roots. That's what they want. They come here to search for a better opportunity, but they don't have the option to work here legally or to travel back to Guatemala and then come back again.
Is there much competition for work here between Mexicans and the people from Guatemala?
I wouldn't say competition. There is more work than there are workers in those fields. So there's always more workers needed. That's one of the main reasons that more people are coming.
We're economically, if you're going to put money, as you said, Guatemala is one of the poorest countries. If you're going to put money someplace, where do you get the most bang for your bucks and bring them out of poverty? In other words, what did Costa Rica do right that the other Central American countries haven't done that brought them out of poverty and everything else?
Costa Rica is more focused on a tourism industry. Guatemala, there's a big tourism factor. Safety, security, I guess we're making big investments on safety and security in Guatemala, especially protecting tourists. We understand that tourism is a big industry that we want to take advantage of and promote different unconventional sides of tourism. There's in Guatemala not just like the tropical beach tourism, but other historical sites, forgetting the names, but there's also a type of people interested in cultural, historical sites. We have the Mayan ruins in Tikal, which is a new pyramid was discovered, the highest pyramid in the world, even higher than the pyramids in Egypt. So we're promoting a different type of tourism.
And what about for the people? Is it more important? Is it you get more bang for your buck giving them child education, adult education, housing, medicine, food? Where do you get the most bang for your bucks in supporting the people?
I would say definitely focus on education. There are very limited possibilities of education for young children past the 6th grade, especially for their families, that they would rather have their children work to help them than to get an education. The government has been doing investments in that area, giving family members that send their kids to school some additional funds for the kid to stay in school. That's what we're focusing on right now, education. I don't have the statistic of what's the percentage of people that drop out after 6th grade. So we want to invest in education.
If I could mention a couple things. You talk about tourism. All three of my children, my wife and I, have sent to Antigua for language school. Why do we send them there? It's because they learn Spanish at a phenomenally inexpensive, but really cultural area, and it's very safe in the city of Antigua. When they go, they stay with families, and you can stay for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. My kids went for about a month each, and they came back far more confident in their Spanish than they ever did ever before. So for your grandchildren or your own children, consider Antigua, Guatemala.
Absolutely.
The other thing I wanted to mention, and that is having to do with the project, and I think Steve may have had a chance to mention this to you, but 19 years ago, this club was the first club partner with a group called the Guatemala Textbook Project, or Guatemala Literacy Program. And that project was visited 2 weeks ago by the president of Rotary International. He said, and was quoted as saying, the Guatemala Literacy Project is the gold standard for Rotary projects. You don't and then finally, to address your comment right there, that the Guatemala Literacy Program specifically focuses on middle school students, the same target audience you're talking about, where they age out with free education and then they need to start paying. That's where our program really focuses. The beautiful thing is, they reach about 10% of all the Guatemalan kids in that range range. They reach about 10% of them. And finally, I was going to mention that they also have a program for scholarships for those students who come from families that they just can't afford it. This Guatemala Literacy Program is trying to reach 1,000 kids with scholarships. So, if that's something you're interested in talking to me after the meeting, I'll link you up with Guatemala Literacy Program.
So $840 a year sponsor.
Yeah. And you are a sponsor, I remember that. Yeah, he's got 2 of the students, yeah.
Yes.
So have you had to get involved in the DACA or rework program?
Yes, Guatemala has about 40,000 DACA students throughout the U.S. It's not as big number as other nationalities. We're the third nationality. I think Mexicans have almost 700,000, and it's from El Salvador, and then it's Guatemalans. We hope there's something that can be done before their permits expire, and we hope that they're not targeted afterwards by immigration authorities. We are, with our immigration attorney that we have just hired, we are focusing on informing them, because many just hear it from the news and they hear my DACA's over, when that's not necessarily the case. If their permits are expiring before March, they can still renew it for another 2 years. So we're focusing on giving out that information to the DACA students that we have, trying to assist them in filling out their forms for free. They just have to pay the fee that they have to pay. I know personally about a lot more people that would have qualified for DACA, but never applied because they were scared. And now they're telling me, it's like, I'm glad I didn't, because now the people that did, USCIS, ICE has all their information. So we're really hoping to keeping an eye out, see what comes out of this. See if we can do whatever we can, and motivate our community here in the U.S. to talk to their representatives, to their U.S. senators, to tell them to do something about these kids. It'll be a sad for them to leave. I'm pretty sure none of them would want to leave, but hopefully there's something that can
had
to travel 7 hours to Atlanta, and they would come during mobile consulates as well, but once a year. We used to have 1,500 people during a weekend because they rather wait for the mobile consulate than have to drive to Atlanta. Yes, sir.
I wish you had been here several years ago when Jeff Taylor and I purchased an ambulance specifically to go to where Honduras is in Alcatraz Ponds and Washington. We had it refurbished. We had her name put on the side of it. Everything was really satisfied with everything, but we couldn't get permission from Guatemala. Sat down and kept talking to Washington, and they said, no problem. But there was a problem. You know? We had arranged through the Air Force to take it down with a pack of a pouch, and we had a reception committee set up in one city, but we couldn't get the okay from the government except that the ambulance. So we sent it down to Mobile, Alabama or someplace. We had one of our men drive it down, and that was the ambulance. It was stuffed with medicine and everything else. We couldn't get it done. Because of the area living in Guatemala, higher worker down there, we couldn't take it. So, that's my story.
Thank you. It's well, I apologize for that situation. There are the different channels that we can send donations to. I know there's a limitation on the type of donation that they can receive that will be tax-free. So, I mean, I don't know on the top of my head, but I mean, if there's something like that will come up again, definitely, try to get to the right connections to let it into the country.
One more question? Is that for one more?
So then, final question then. What would you want to see with regards to the folks that are here from Guatemala? How should America, how should civic organizations like us, what can we do to help them and integrate into our culture? And what do you think some of the things you're hearing to upgrade things?
The people that come here, they come to work. That's what we do. Unfortunately, I guess climate in Washington right now is very tricky. That is making everybody scared. They try to not even go to work, get back home, don't go out of their houses. Experience a decrease in forums and attendance to consulates throughout the U.S. and we think it's because this climate that there is. It's a federal issue that can only be changed through representatives in Washington and state and U.S. senators. So we just hope they will come to a solution. There's Guatemalans here have been living here decades. They have children, grandchildren that are U.S. citizens, and just this uncertainty even makes it dangerous to be victims of crimes where they're afraid to report them to the police. We are making big efforts to serve as liaison between local police officers and the Guatemalan community. Not only they're already, I guess, victimized in this climate, we don't want them to get re-victimized again.
Thank you.
We really appreciate you taking your time to come speak with us today, and we are going to donate a book in your honor to the Triangle Literacy Council. We also have a commemorative pen, which I can never open. Thank you, and one more task for our 129. Jim Morgan.
That was the first part of the challenge. Next part, there's $87 on the table. If you're lucky enough to grab an ace is the lucky card. And we go on to next week with your children. The 6 does not cut it, so thank you very much.
Okay, next week, Patrick Martin from the museum, North Carolina Museum of Art will be here. As Curtis said, we've got the golf tournament coming up in 2 weeks, so be prepared for that. Please stay for a little bit and help clean up. And our last order of business, if Jim Morgan would lead us in the four-way test.
All right. Four-way test, all the things that are due. First,
Is it the truth? Is it fair concern? And will show goodwill and affection? Will be beneficial to all concerned?
oh,